So it's the warmest day of the year recording this, and I'm already sweating like a pig. This will be fun. Hey guys, it's about Bo the Doggo, and welcome back to Adastra, part 16. As usual, a lot of things happened last episode. Kato and Pharaoh got into a fight, and Kato showed his real self that he still hates the Kemians and would love to kill Nephero if he could. And we learned that Nephero and Virginia is having a little coup or something. They want to put Amicus on the throne, and they want to meddle in things. And oh yeah, and they want to blackmail Cassius and Kato in some way or something, or put them in a bad light so that Cassius will have to step down from his emperorship. Yeah, and we met Amicus in the dungeons, and we confronted Alex about what he's been doing, and he had an answer for everything, but I'm not sure that he is telling the truth. And from what I've been told, this seems to be a very important episode, so I guess we are gonna learn a lot of stuff in this episode, a lot of important stuff. So, with no further ado, let's go! I float, content, calm, happy, even though I sense someone watching me, just behind me. Behind me? There is no behind me, because I don't have a body anymore. Instead, the feeling creeps just outside of my awareness. Whenever I try to focus on it, it slips away. So instead I just let go, floating in space, feeling almost nothing. And feeling nothing right now after everything feels good. But after a moment, I start to get a vague, far-off feeling. Not my own feelings, but the feelings of others, and I pick them up like distant whispers.
We've interfered far too much already.
Nothing goes to plan with the wolves. It must be done. I'm only half listening, coasting on the waves of soothing, empty space. If this is how the drug makes you feel, I'm pretty into it.
The more we interfere, the harder it will be to predict anything. There is no other choice.
The voice feeling ceases at that point, and I continue to ripple on the waves of the universe. That's when I notice something appearing in the center of my infinite space. Oh, it's him again. I've seen this thing before, I think. Dreams that fled my mind the moment I woke up suddenly comes flooding back. I focus on this being, this creature that's been following me since I was abducted. He looms there, staring at me, even though I'm everywhere at once. The silence goes on for a while. Or maybe not. I still don't have any sense of time. That's until the creature speaks.
Bo!
The voice is deep and masculine, rumbling through my being. I wait a moment, then try to acknowledge him, made difficult by the fact that I don't have a mouth to speak with.
If you wish to communicate, then do so. I can hear you.
What? I try to think the words at him, but it's slow and clumsy in my mind, and I just wish that I could talk. There's a rumble of amusement through the air.
If you desire a body, simply will it be. The loss of self is a disturbing feeling for your creatures. I know.
What he says doesn't make all that much sense, but I try anyway. And just like that, I feel my being start to pull together. I start to materialize right in front of the creature, and I see my hands in front of myself again. Then I look down, and I see my body, naked. As soon as I see that, I feel a shock of embarrassment, and my robe suddenly appears on my body. I still don't feel right, like I'm still not in this body that I see. Still, it does feel better, and I'm now able to open my mouth. What is this? My mouth feels strange and rubbery, and at the same time, it feels like cotton is coating the inside.
This is...
For the first time, the creature seems unsure of what it should say.
Well, it's a bit complicated to explain, but it's simply a space where you and I might be able to communicate peacefully.
That's not really an answer.
No, but if I were to explain it in depth, it would waste the small amount of time we have together and confuse you even further.
I try to stay focused, wanting to know as much about this guy as I can before the drug wears off. You're a parent? That rumbling laughter tickles at the edge of my existence again.
No, definitely not. I am a monitor.
That was what I was thinking it might have been. Ah, I was right. Monitor. Icy fear trickles down my imagined spine as I realize what this all might mean. The monitor quickly holds up a paw.
No, don't worry. You're not in trouble.
I watch him cautiously, as if he's only lulling me into a false sense of security before annihilating me on the spot. Again, that feeling of amusement.
Now that would be impossible to do here.
I try to keep my thoughts focused. What about Amicus? Is he in trouble?
No, he only did what we had planned for him to do.
Planned? There's a pause, as if the monitor is gathering his thoughts.
No, I'm simply receiving instructions.
From...
the parents.
I stare at him. They're talking to you?
Yes, about you and what I can and cannot tell you.
Why don't they just talk to me then?
Because they cannot. Direct communication is impossible.
Because this universe is only a simulation and they are the people at the computers typing and they can't really communicate, but they can program the monitor to monitor us and tell him like you are allowed to do this and this and that. Oh my god! It's all coming down to me now. Oh, it's all a simulation. We live in the Matrix. Let's go. Then how?
I was specifically designed to be a bridge between your, let's say, dimension and theirs.
I don't really know what to think about that, but I get the feeling that I shouldn't be distracted by these things right now.
That would be wise.
So what do you mean planned? The parents set Amicus up somehow?
Your abduction and the introduction to the Wolven Empire was meant to happen.
Why? Another slight pause.
The wolves would single-handedly undo the Galaxias, but you can change that.
Oh, that's also what I've been theorizing about, that the wolves or Cassius and Kato or whoever would like just mess things up, and the parents put us here to like help fix that. Getting Amicus to be the emperor, that's a first step to fix all of that and make the wolves a part of the Galaxias again. I frown, feeling some anxiety slip through the drug-induced calm. What? How?
The wolves are a stubborn sibling, possibly a mistake made in the very beginning, but the parents can still see the correct path and destination.
See? Can they see the future or something?
In a way, yes. Their minds exist in many times at once.
I'm starting to become lost, and suddenly I begin to feel like a primitive life form, incapable of understanding this ancient alien monolith before me.
Do not feel that way. You yourself may not understand, but your species as a whole is more than capable.
My mind automatically thinks back to how we were abandoned by the wolves, and maybe even the jackals too.
You were abandoned by all the siblings.
Oh! Does that mean that we have so many cultures? We have like, in East Asia there are different cultures, and we have like the Native Americans, and we had the Egyptians and the Romans and the Vikings, and all these are like cultures from different siblings. Cool, I wanna meet the Viking siblings then. For a single moment, multiple images of several different creatures cross my mind. A bear, a wolf, a jackal, a lion, a ram. They're all recognizable, and what they wear is recognizable too, reminding me of several different cultures on Earth. That is so cool, I love it. The images finally stop on a tiger in a flowing dress with intricate design and patterns, and what looks like a sari draped over her shoulder. Is that the tigress? What was her name? Mora? Mira, right. As the image fades from my mind, somehow I know immediately that that is Mira.
Yes, we reigned in the wolves once before with the help of the Heathendos, but it lasted for a far shorter period in time than we'd foreseen. That's why we turned to you, to play her ancient role.
Oh my god, it was what I thought when we had the play and Amicus explained the play. And I asked something like, is this what gonna happen to us? I was thinking like, this sounds kind of like the story of me and Amicus. That is such good foreshadowing, I love it. But we are not part of the Galaxias. Everyone failed to uplift us, so isn't something wrong with us? Another pause.
In a way, yes. But after attempts, all of the parents realized that humans would factor into the Galaxias later. Now.
All? Aren't the parents competing with each other? This time, I only get silence in response. I wonder if you've just been told that he can't tell me that. So, what am I supposed to do? What do you want with me? The answer this time is immediate.
Restore Amicus to his rightful place on the throne.
I wait, but there isn't any other explanation. And how do I do that? Silence. Why me? More silence. I blow out air in frustration. Or try, since nothing comes out. Why can't you just tell me what to do? You brought me here, didn't you? Just tell me! Nothing. I'm about to just give up and wait out the trip when the monitor begins speaking again.
Interference often leads to destabilization of the events that should follow. The Galaxias must develop and learn in its own way.
Except for now, right? This is interfering, isn't it?
Except for the various instances where the children and siblings stray too far off course.
This time I'm the one left unsure of what to say. I had always seen the parents as all-knowing beings with only good intentions for the children. But now, how do I know they can even be trusted? What I do know is that the monitor is apparently able to hear all of my thoughts, so he definitely heard that. Still, he doesn't say anything, just regarding me silently. So, I guess you can't tell me what the purpose of all of this is then? The Galaxias as a whole?
That knowledge has not been earned by the Sapiens yet.
My mistrust grows. Well, can't you give me something? Anything that might help me with getting Amicus out of the dungeon? If I'm staying off the course, then tell me how to get back on it. The monitor pauses for a moment, as if getting more information from the parents.
Watch the cat.
The cat? Alexios? I wait, but again, I get silence. I shake my head. If the parents really are all-knowing and all-powerful, why can't they just tell me?
We are neither of these things, hence why we must be so careful.
I just stand there, unsure of what else to do. I look around. Is Cassius alright?
The false emperor? Yes, he's somewhere around here.
The monitor looks around dismissively. Did he hear us?
No, he's too busy panicking. A side effect of being a coward imposter.
I frown, feeling that's a bit too harsh, even on someone like Cassius. Can you help him? Maybe bring him here? I get the feeling from the monitor that I can only describe as an annoyed sigh.
I suppose.
A few moments pass before I start to see something appearing next to me. The unmistakable shape of Cassius materializes, frightened and shaking. He immediately sees me. Bo? Where are we? What is happening? Are you? Then he sees the monitor. Ah! He jumps behind me, shielding himself from the creature. The demon! Help me! I get the feeling of amusement from the dragon creature again, and I frown. Have you been scaring him? I get the feeling of a shrug from the creature.
If he's scared, that's his choice.
And the parents are okay with you doing that?
Possibly not, but the white wolf means little to them.
What? That seems to get Cassius' attention, and he pokes his head around my side to glare at the monitor. Why does he say that it's Kato saying this and not Cassius? Excuse me, but I am the Emperor!
No, you are not.
I frown, the scene growing more and more surreal before me.
Excuse me?
Cassie seems unable to think of anything else to say. Just as I'm about to step between the two of them, I find myself unable to hold my consciousness together any longer and I begin to drift off. Goodbye. Oh. Slowly, I come onto the sofa, my eyes cracking open as I wince at the throbbing headache I have. There is a cold sensation around my mouth, and I rush up to feel that I'm drooling all over myself. I roll over, feeling a wave of dizziness as I do. I pause there, waiting for the wooziness to pass. When it finally does, I'm able to focus better on my surroundings. I stare a full 10 seconds before I remember where I am and what I'm doing there. I look over at the bed and see Cassius lying spread eagle over the covers, his eyes fluttering. I watch him for a while, realizing that he's still unconscious. He did take a lot more of the drug than I did, so I guess that makes sense. Very slowly, I slide my legs off of the sofa and sit there as a second dizzy spell overtakes me. I wait a solid minute for this one to pass, so that when I stand up, I don't just end up falling over. When I'm able to do that, I stumble to the bathroom, feeling more and more clear-headed by the second. When I get to the sink, I rest there, staring at myself in the mirror. My eyes are red, and my hair is messed up in every direction. I wet one of the towels and wash my face, and by the time I'm finished, I feel mostly better. As I rest there against the sink, I think back to what just happened. Not just a drug trip I've been sent on, but what I've been told. All the dreams I had since being on this moon. I remember everything. I don't know if it's real or not, if I'd really just spoken to the parents. It has seemed too intricate to be real. My mind wouldn't be able to make something up like that, would it? Then again, I don't know what Cassius was smoking. As if on cue, I hear the wolf snort in the bedroom and I make my way out of the bathroom, finding Cassius on his side now, facing away from me. Cassius? Slowly, I walk around the bed and see that the wolf's eyes, just as red as mine, are open, staring off into space. I try again. Cassius, are you okay? The wolf mumbles something, not even looking at me. I walk up to the side of the bed, reaching out tentatively before gently touching him on the arm. That seems to jolt him from his daze and he jerks away, gasping in surprise and fear as he pulls back and looks up at me. I hold my hands up to show him that I mean no harm and he stares at me for what feels like over a minute. Finally, he mumbles out my name. Bong. I nod slowly, not wanting to make any sudden movements. Yes, I'm Bo. You're in the palace, in Amicus' old room.
I know where I am, idiot!
Seems like he's returning to his old self. Well, that's good. You had a pretty bad reaction to whatever that was. Cassius is pushing himself up to sitting position, doing it slowly, just like I had. He lets his head hang for a while, probably going through the same dizzy spells I just experienced. I wait patiently, deciding to move back over the sofa while I do. His ears perk up as I sit down, and he looks back up at me.
What are you doing?
I frown. What do you mean?
I mean, why are you still here? You may leave.
I guess I could. I just want to make sure that you're okay first. Cassius lets out a soft, indignant snort.
You think I believe that? You're dismissed.
I give him an incredulous look. Seriously? First of all, this is Amicus' room. Second, I'm a Chemian. I don't see you ordering the fair around like that. This time, Cassius lets out a louder snort.
He's royalty and an actual Chemian. You think that I pay you the same?
Chemians see their citizens as equal. I'm worth just as much as he is in their eyes. Instead of snapping back, Cassius just lowers his head, eyes closed, before he lets out a deep forlorn sigh. I think we have a lot to learn from the Chemians here on Earth.
I'm tired. If you wish to antagonize me, please leave it for another time.
I've been pushing the boundaries with Cassius on purpose to see what his limits are, and I'm getting more comfortable conversing with him without fear. Still, I'm a bit taken aback at Cassius' sudden tone of defeat. It's one that I haven't heard often. We're both silent for a minute or so, and then I finally speak up. So what was that? That smoke stuff? It was a drug, right? Cassius is silent for a bit longer, and I wonder if he's going to ask me to leave again, but instead he just sighs and finally looks up, his eyes looking a bit more clear now.
It's called Somni. It's a plant from the southern region of this continent. It helps us connect to the parents.
I wonder if he remembers anything from that meeting, or if he will make up
oh yeah, I met the parents, they are so cool, oh I talked to all of them about all this and this and this, and they told me this and that.
And since we were there, we will know that he was lying. Or maybe he will be honest and be like, yeah, I saw you and I hid behind you because of that demon. Yeah, you said it's the traditional way?
The old ways, yes. Usually we communicate through parental tech. But as you know, they're currently not speaking to us with that method.
So, this forces it to happen?
In a way.
Does it work? Cassius glares at me.
You would know. You were there.
Okay, so he remembers, and okay. I go silent, the statement coming as a surprise to me. I'd seen Cassius, of course, but I thought that he had only been a part of the hallucination. You saw me?
Oh please, Simiad, or whatever the hell you are. You're only trying to humiliate me further. I was right there next to you.
So that had to be real. I sit back on my hands, contemplating all of this. I've read about the DMT experiences back on Earth, how if you break through, you can meet extra-dimensional beings that tell you the secrets of the universe. I would have considered my experience be all in my head, but if Cassius was actually there... I noticed then that Cassius is looking very closely at me, gauging my expression.
What? He spoke to you, didn't he? What did he say?
If this is real, then I doubt telling Cassius everything will help me out in any way. He must see the hesitation on my face, because his fur bristles.
The Emperor demands that you tell him what they told you!
I glance up at Cassius, feeling less and less afraid of him with every threat he sends my way. He really is all bark and no bite. He just sort of asked me what I was doing there. That's all. Cassius glares at me before finally seeing me defeated again, looking down. But he seemed okay with me being there. He was a monitor too. I don't think Amicus is in trouble. Cassius shakes his head.
I don't trust anything he said. He was a demon.
I sigh. What did he say to you? You looked pretty scared.
I was not scared.
I let out an involuntary laugh before I can stop it.
Damn you! I was simply unprepared for the experience. It was much more intense than the previous one I had. That's all!
Cassius looks at the ground again, and I can see that the inside of his ears are burning red. I know that laughing at him was a shitty move on my part. I should be working to get him on my side, to help Amicus. I make an effort to get my expression under control. Listen, I'm not against you, Cassius. Actually, I think we're working together here. I'm just trying to figure out how to best help your brother. Cassius continues to stare silently at the floor, though I see an ear twitch, as if acknowledging what I just said. If we're going to work together, we need to be at least a little honest with each other. Maybe I can help you figure some stuff out. I realize how hypocritical that is, especially considering that I'm hiding what the parents have told me. Cassius lets out a skeptical huff.
You help me?
Yes. Cassius seems to contemplate, then shakes his head.
Well, nothing there could help us. They simply torment me when I try to communicate with them.
Torment?
They appear as demons and taunt me. It seems that the parents truly want to cut off contact with us, which I'm fine with.
Cassius says that last bit with such a meek defiance that I almost feel sorry for him. Maybe it was just a drug. I've heard plenty of stories of people freaking out on mind-altering stuff, especially if they have problems with anxiety.
I do not have a weak mind, Bo.
That doesn't mean that you have a weak mind. Sometimes you just...
Enough. I will not have you speculating about my mental capacities.
This time I'm the one to sigh, wondering for the 100th time how to tell that this wolf is Amicus' brother. So they didn't say anything to you? Cassius pauses and frowns, tugging at the corner of his mouth. No. I raise an eyebrow at him.
What? Of course they said things to me, but nothing useful.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. The parents have turned on us. That's all I need to know.
I think back to the conversation we had in the hallucination. The monitor had told both of us that Cassius isn't the Emperor, and if Cassius had heard what I heard, then that's probably what he's talking about right now. But I know that now isn't the time to challenge him, and I can tell that he's still trying to recover from the trip. Still, looking at him right now, staring at the ground, looking disheveled and defeated, I feel myself wanting to help him. Out of everyone on this moon, he seems to be the most stressed out, and I feel bad for him despite everything that's happened. So, I eventually leave Cassius alone in the bed and wander back out into the halls, feeling as if weeks had passed since I last was out there. I think back to what the dragon-like creature had told me, about how I'm here for a reason, that this had all been planned out. Planned out by the parents, who seemed to be completely frustrated at the behavior of the wolves and their inability to follow through on their plans. For a brief moment, I wonder how much smoothly things would have gone if I'd been abducted by someone like Neferu and taken to someone like Kimia. But then I wouldn't have met Amicus. Besides, it seems like it's just the wolves that are giving the parents problems, not the other siblings. Which reminds me of the only bit of advice that the parents had given me. Watch the cat. Spy on Alexius. That's something that I think I can do, if I'm careful. Despite the new level of scrutiny I've fallen under, I've also been walking around the halls of the palace for the past few days without incidents. I've even come across Kato for a few times, but for whatever reason, he's completely ignored me. All for the better. So I start to scour the palace for the cat. He's actually pretty hard to find when he's not looking for you, but I at least know that he's usually in the gardens, if not in the hallways watering the plants. So after eating a quick lunch, I decided to start my search in the gardens. I look back and forth through the foliage, and I walk quietly along the various pathways. It's quiet, pleasant and peaceful, but after everything that's happened, it has an ominous edge to it, like something could jump out at me at any moment. I do this for half an hour before I start to realize how fruitless this search might be. Alex would be hard to find even if he was out here, and besides, he could even be all the way out in the city doing his ambassador work, whatever that is. Just as I'm about to give up though, I hear something. Sniffling, gasping and crying? I pause, listening. It's a bit difficult to hear through the slight rustling of the leaves in the wind, but there's definitely someone out here that sounds upset. I can't really tell who it might be, since it sounds like they're trying to keep quiet. That, and there's another sound too, another voice, and this one I recognize. Alex. It's a soft murmuring sound, like he's soothing someone, probably the person who's crying. Is it Cassius maybe? I wait there a few moments, waiting to see if the sound fades or get closer, which would tell me if they are moving, but it stays constant. So convinced that they're sitting down, or at least standing in the same spot, I creep closer to where the sound is coming from. It's in a secluded part of the garden, coming from a small square that's surrounded by trees and bushes. I'm familiar with this square, the one with the statue of Drusus, where I had been laid out to die. I know I can't use the little path that leads to the statue. I've been seen for sure, so I walk up to the bushes that surrounds it and start looking for a break in the various branches and leaves. The sobbing sound continues, and I hear Alex's voice more clearly now. I still can't quite tell exactly what he's saying, but I catch the occasional "don't worry" and "all is well." I can't imagine what's happening there. I start to wonder if this is exactly what the parents had hoped that I would come across, and my heart starts to hammer in my chest. Am I about to find something that's going to help me out of the mess we're in? No, I think you're gonna find Cassius crying, and because he told Alex what the parents told him, or what the monitor told him, or whatever. And he is sad now, and he's looking for comfort with Alex. I finally find a thinner coverage of the foliage, and I'm able to see through. First, I see Alex. He's back to me, crouched on the ground in front of the statue. He's draped over something. Someone hugging them, his face pressed to the side of their head. I can only see their ears and part of their shoulder, but I know right away that that's Cassius. Who would have thought? He got his head bowed deeply towards the ground and his paws on his face, shaking with his sobs. Alex hugs him tightly, whispering to his ear, clearly trying to comfort him. Cassius only responds with occasional shakes of his head, before finally blurting out, But am I a fraud? His voice squeaks uncharacteristically on the last word, and Alex responds with a gentle shh before nuzzling the wolf's muzzle. I watch for a few more moments before drawing back, feeling uncomfortable, knowing that this is a private moment between the two of them. I know now that this won't exactly help me in any way beside from making me feel even worse for Cassius. Still, I found Alex, so I move away towards the bench that is further up the path, one that gives me a good view of the entrance of the square and at a distance that won't make me seem suspicious. A good 10 minutes pass before there's any movement. First, Cassius comes out, in the process of straightening his armor, his expression blank as he stalks up the path away from me. I wait a good while, maybe another 5 minutes, wondering if Alex somehow took a different exit from the square. But at that moment, I see him walk out, looking completely neutral as he looks around. I freeze up, positive that he's about to see me, even though that would be okay, but he instead walks straight ahead, towards the pond. I watch him go for a while, and then follow. It feels strange trying to spy on the pet ambassador like this, especially when I have no idea what I'm doing. But this is the only hint I was given to free Amicus, and if this is the only way, then I'm going to do it. I find the cat in the pillar, already pulling away at the weeds. I sigh and wait, watching for a while, realizing that this could last hours since Alex always seems to enjoy weeding for some reason. The cat is so meticulous about gardening here, and I have to wonder why, considering his effort really wouldn't be all that visible in a garden this big. But I remind myself of why I'm here and settle down on another bench, one that is also a good distance away so that it won't seem too suspicious if he sees me. This time, I sit there for a few hours, occasionally adjusting the way I'm seated as my ass gets sore on the stone bench. And as the sun sets, I realize how boring spying actually is. Around the second hour, the sun has completely set, and I debate just giving up and trying another day. At that moment, a drone suddenly drifts up to me, making me jump and duck my head down a little bit, as if that would help me to hide from Alex. Nefaru requests shh! I hiss at the drone, and Koma's voice automatically drops into a whisper and goes on as if nothing had happened. Your location, and if you need his assistance. Of course, at this exact moment, I see Alex strolling up the path, though he doesn't move towards the palace. Instead, he starts walking up the path in my direction, and I quickly stumble off the bench and into the bushes, praying that he didn't see me as I hide myself amongst the leaves. The drone follows me, then pauses on the edge of the sidewalk. I'm reminded that these things probably can't move off the grid of the pathway. Just through the leaves, I can see that the damn thing's lights on, stubbornly waiting for my answer. At the same time, I hear the soft scraping of Alex's sandals on the pathway as he moves closer. Damn it! I would have been better if I had just stayed on the bench. Now this drone is gonna reveal me to Alex while I'm hiding in the bushes like the most suspicious person in the palace. I see the green tips of the cat's ears poke above the bushes as he hums softly. I crouch lower into the foliage, until I can't even see that. I will the cat to just ignore the drone, but the humming stops and so does his footsteps, and I know that he spotted it. Do you have a stray drone out here, Com? All drone machinery are accounted for, Alexius. What's this one doing? I feel my heart stop, swallowing hard. There's a pause, as if Com is calculating something. That information is classified, Alex. By whom? Nefaru. There's a pause, and then a chuckle, as Alex's footsteps pick up again, moving further away to my left. Oh, that jackal! I'm still holding my breath, as I listen to the footsteps fade up the path before slowly rising up to my crouch, glaring at the drone. Tell Nefaru that I'm busy, but that I will be back tonight. I have something to tell him. Message received. Thank you, Bo. Yeah, no problem. I say it sarcastically as the drone floats off in a slow, lazy way. At this point, the sun has set completely, and I have to wonder why Alexis had headed in that particular direction, leading either towards the gate of the palace or the lake. I follow the path slowly, keeping my eyes peeled for the cat. At first, I'm almost positive that he will be heading for the gate, maybe on his way to the city. This will be the end of my little mission, since I know that I can't leave the boundaries of the palace without being hurt somehow. Probably killed. But instead, I spot the cat's form, just barely visible in front of the lake, its surface glinting from the light of the moon. I stop and hide behind a tree, making sure that I'm not close to any of the lampposts. I watch as Alex moves around under the little gazebo with the watercrafts under it. And sure enough, a few minutes later, he comes gliding out on the sightseer. He flows over the shore, then out onto the lake, in the direction of the island. I know right away that I'm seeing something important. There's nothing on the island for the cat to take care of as far as I know, and unless he's going out there for a nighttime outing on the beach, extremely doubtful, then he's definitely doing something suspicious. I wait a while, watching as the dark form of the cat and the craft gets smaller and smaller until they basically disappear out in the direction of the island. Of course, I know that I can't follow him out there right now, but I can definitely tell Nefer about it. Hi, Bob from editing here. What's up? This part that we blacked out to right now was supposed to be the mid-break, but I know already that I won't be able to finish the video until Saturday. So instead of doing like I did last week, I'm gonna end the video here, and you will get a shorter video next week as well, and then we should be back to speed with the longer videos after that. Yeah, big thank you to my patrons, as you probably already saw, and yeah, I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching and for staying with me through this series. It means a lot, and I really want to make the videos like these long episodes for you guys, so that there is enough content for you to watch each week. And I'm a bit bummed out that I didn't get to do it this time, but it is what it is. And now, I love you guys, so take care, and remember that you are loved and appreciated, and that you should be proud of who you are, because I want to see you in the next episode. Bye! What's this one? What's this one? This one. This one. This one. This one. This one.